Ask Reddit. You have 5 seconds to ruin the entire wedding. What would you do? In the middle of the ceremony, stand up, interrupt the officiant, and publicly propose to someone else. Yell to the groom, "After I slept with you, this is what you do to me," and punch the bride. When they say, "You may now kiss the bride," they never specified who may kiss the bride. Your child in my uterus objects. Yell whore when the bride walks down the aisle. My mom did something similar at my brother's wedding. She stood up at the "Does anyone know a reason why they can't be wed" part and shouted, "They can't get married because the bride is a whore." You could have heard a pin drop before the bride burst into tears, and my mom screamed as my dad dragged her from the room. It was certainly memorable. Thank the husband for letting me borrow his bride last night. Propose to the bride. Destroy the ring. Propose to my date and hijack the reception to be a celebration of our engagement. Stand up and shout, "Hi everybody, I'm the mistress." Eat the plastic dolls on top of the cake. I'd kiss the bride. Take off my pants and start doing the helicopter. Quietly stand up and stand next to the bride as she walks up to the altar. Straight face and everything, and refuse to sit down for the entire ceremony. If nothing else, it'll make everyone question who's getting married to who. Play the Reigns of Castamere. I do that Naruto finger jab thing to the bride's butt, sending her flying into the cake. So many people are coming up with various bits of rudeness or nudeness that amount to little more than temporary obstacles and annoyances. If you want to ruin a wedding, you're going to have to do something a bit more permanent and scaring. Poison half the drink so that, as the ceremony begins, half of the wedding party and all the guests begin vomiting gouts of blood and dying painfully in their loved ones' arms. Drones strike the wedding party and leave the survivors to claw their way to sunlight from under a bloody pile of their friends and family. Lob a grenade into the altar. First shalt thou take out the holy pin, then shalt thou count to 3. No more, no less. Claim the bride is pregnant with your child, or you are pregnant with the groom's child, and have 4 seconds left to spare. Object to the wedding. Since when did you become straight? In the middle of the best man speech, loudly scream, "I fucked the groom last night." Shit, sorry everyone, I just got my COVID test back. I tested positive. I'm already at the wedding, so I'll just wait for me to ruin it naturally. Bring a spoiled child to it. Destroy the paperwork. It's not official without it. Wedding basically didn't happen. Pee on the cake. Objected, say I'm in love with the groom. I'm a guy. Confess my hidden love for the bride and threaten to kill myself if she doesn't leave with me. Gotta talk a little faster. I tell them about what happened during the bachelor party. Tell her I don't. A finger and a fire alarm. Puke all over the bride. Play the wedding march on kazoo while the couple walks to the altar. Kill someone. 100% success. Push the cake on the floor. During the ceremony, yell, insert groom or bride's name, "This is better than the last one." Send in my very pregnant niece to glare at the groom, point at her belly and say, "You see this, Derek? This is our son. How can you be marrying this whore when our son is due in 3 weeks? Note, I do have a niece who is due to give birth in 3 weeks, but she is happily married to the child's father. Anything can be ruined with a strategically placed poop. Ceremony. Drop one on the altar. Reception. Curl one out on the head table. Honeymoon suite. Have you ever had the surprise of a man jumping naked from a cupboard and defecating on the new bed linens? Trust me, nobody is getting laid after that. Bring a crying baby. Stand on a chair and face plant into the cake, effectively destroying the cake. Bring a dozen rabid ferrets and let them loose after throwing food near the bride and groom. Robert's got a quick hand. He'll look around the room but won't tell you his plan. Act like one of the pair is cheating with me, like, "Name, what are you doing?" Drunkenly say how his underwear looks way better than the suit. Wink at the groom. Say, "I'll see you later, tiger," and go to the bathroom. Run away. It's my wedding. I stand up, confess my love to both bride and groom, and commit seppuku. Yell, aren't you the priest who raped my little brother, you rapist? Or swan dive into the cake yelling swan dive. Or bring 10 perfume bottles and pour them out in various places. Mix bleach and ammonia and kill everybody. There's so many things you could do. My friend literally did that. She yelled that they didn't have the government's permission to marry. The minister was then afraid to go on with the ceremony. The shocking thing was that she was correct. The county clerk was the groom's ex-wife, and she denied giving them a permit. Our friend, the bride, had no idea, so she of course was devastated. The sad thing was that before they got the mess straightened out, her father had passed away, so he couldn't walk her down the aisle. You can ruin any social situation by whipping out your wiener and screaming the N-word until someone forcibly removes you. Remember, you've spent a lifetime earning the reputation you currently have, and you could flush it all down the drain in 5 seconds if you wanted to. Thanks, Mike. Welcome back, everyone. I'd yell, the prophecy commences. The Antichrist's future parents are being wed. Reveal that the bride has been cheating on her groom for years. Open the goddamn door and call the groom's bride a whore. Propose to the bride or groom or priest during ceremony. Yell to the groom, "It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground now," as you jump from a ledge onto the priest and piss your pants. So then the groom starts laughing, and then the bride gets pissed and runs off. Scream at the top of my voice, nothing in particular. Just, ah! I know how to fight with several medieval weapons, so nobody object when I bring my Celtic longsword. Catch the bride blowing someone other than her husband in a car out back of the reception hall while taking candid pictures of the wedding party between the ceremony and reception, then show them to the groom. Spill red wine or a colored drink on the wedding dress. True story. I attended a cousin's wedding about 10 years ago. He is originally from London, now living in the States. His London crew are really good guys and they like to party a lot. Anyway, his best man gave a speech that I will never forget. When he got up to speak, everyone in the room could easily tell that he was shit-faced. About 3 minutes into it, he made a crack about how the groom had the childhood nickname of Butthead James. He proceeded to say, "And I have this to prove it." He proceeded to turn around and drop his pants. For a moment, we all saw his white boxers, which has printed on it the groom's face across his ass. However, because he was shit-faced, he pulled it all down unknowingly and did a pretty solid 10 seconds of self-ass slapping. Luckily, before he turned around, the groom shot to his feet and pulled the boxers or pants up. Needless to say, it certainly took the wedding in a very weird place. At a reception, my wife and I were on the dance floor and I really had to fart. I figured I'd do it while the music was loud. I stood back a little from her and let it rip the very second the DJ lost power. Everyone looked our way and saw me looking at my wife. They looked at my wife. She ran off in a huff. Then I still had bad gas and was looking for a place to let it rip. The hall had some bay doors to a balcony, so I backed my ass out the doors and blasted ass. I turned around to close the doors and saw the bride and groom were out there having an alone moment that I just farted on. Yell fire. That worked with a graduation. Bribe the organist with cash to play the Phantom of the Opera theme as the bride comes down the aisle. Pastry chef here. I used to do a lot of wedding cakes and would have to move them to wherever the couple wanted it displayed. I always had a fantasy, if I ever decided to quit, walk out to purposely drop the cake in front of the wedding party and act like it was an accident and just burst out in tears and storm out, never to be seen again. So to answer your question, destroy the cake, or shit on it or something if that's your style. Oh, you made it to the end! Smash like and subscribe for more amazing content.